Ambassador Eliana Chen stared out of the viewport as Earth grew smaller behind the sleek Commonwealth vessel. The blue-green planet, wrapped in swirling white clouds, was the only home she had ever known. Now, as it shrank to a mere dot against the blackness of space, she felt a weight settle in her chest. This was not a routine diplomatic mission. Ambassador, we will reach the Galactic Council station in approximately 12 hours, said Captain Zax, the tall, blue-skinned alien who commanded the vessel Concordia. His 4 eyes blinked in sequence. A gesture Chen had learned indicated respect. Thank you, Captain, she replied, turning away from the viewport. And thank you for allowing my team aboard. Behind her stood her small security detail, 3 soldiers in plain clothes and Atlas, her AI assistant housed in a sleek, floating orb. The Commonwealth representatives had protested the security team, but Chen had insisted. Earth had only been in contact with the Galactic Commonwealth for 6 months. Trust was still a fragile thing. Your quarters have been prepared according to human biological needs, Captain Zax said, though I must remind you that the Council summons was most urgent. They rarely convene all 27 species representatives. Chen nodded, her face revealing nothing of her concern. The summons had come without warning or explanation, demanding Earth's representative appear before the full council immediately. As Earth's first ambassador to the stars, Chen had expected challenges, but nothing like this. I look forward to addressing their concerns, whatever they may be, she said diplomatically. After the captain left, Chen turned to Atlas. The AI's housing sphere glowed with a soft blue light. Atlas, what do we know about emergency council sessions? The sphere pulsed as it spoke. Very little, Ambassador. The Commonwealth's shared database contains minimal information on council protocols. Emergency sessions are extremely rare, typically called only for matters of galactic security. And they wouldn't tell us what this is about, Chen muttered, more to herself than to Atlas. It is unusual, Atlas agreed. I have analyzed all our interactions with Commonwealth representatives. There have been no incidents or violations of the preliminary agreements. Chen sighed. Something doesn't feel right about this. The Commonwealth discovered Earth only 7 months ago, claimed they wanted peaceful relations, shared some basic technology, and now this urgent summons? Your instincts have merit, Ambassador, Atlas said. I have detected inconsistencies in the Commonwealth's behavior patterns. They express enthusiasm for cultural exchange but have denied all requests to visit their worlds. Chen moved to a small desk in her quarters and activated her tablet. Let's review everything we know about the Galactic Council. There must be something we're missing. For the next several hours, Chen and Atlas reviewed the limited information Earth had gathered about the Commonwealth. The alliance of 27 spacefaring species had existed for over 2,000 years, dominated by the oldest members, the Varan Imperium, the Zor Collective, and the Tulaki Federation. Earth was the newest discovered world with spacefaring capability. Ambassador, Atlas interrupted her reading. I've been analyzing our flight path. We are not taking a direct route to the council station. Chen looked up, frowning. What do you mean? We are making a detour through the Proxima Centauri system. This adds 3 hours to our journey. Why would they? Chen began, but was interrupted by a soft chime at her door. A young human woman entered, wearing the blue uniform of Earth's diplomatic corps. Lieutenant Maya Santos, Chen's assistant, looked troubled. Ambassador, I was just in the ship's observation deck and saw something strange, Santos said, keeping her voice low. We're passing very close to our research outpost in the Proxima system. I think the Commonwealth is scanning it. Chen's eyes narrowed. That outpost is within our solar system's legal boundary according to the preliminary agreement. They have no right. There's more, Santos continued. I overheard 2 Varan officers talking. They didn't realize I understand some of their language. They mentioned something about evidence collection and boundary violations. Chen felt a chill run through her. They're building a case against us, she said quietly. This summons isn't a discussion, it's a trial. But we haven't violated any agreements, Santos protested. Maybe not our agreements, Chen said, her mind racing. Atlas, pull up the Commonwealth Charter, not just our bilateral agreements. Look for anything about newly discovered civilizations, protectorates, or development restrictions. Atlas worked silently for a moment, then displayed a series of documents. Ambassador, I've found something concerning. According to the Commonwealth Charter, Newly discovered civilizations with spacefaring capability but without faster-than-light travel are classified as emerging protectorates. Such worlds are subject to development restrictions and resource utilization limits. But they never told us about this classification, Chen said, anger rising in her voice. We signed agreements as independent equals. The classification appears to be automatic under their laws, Atlas explained. The documents you signed included a clause recognizing the full body of Commonwealth law, which would include these restrictions by reference. Chen cursed under her breath. A classic diplomatic trap. Bury the real terms in references to external documents. As a former corporate lawyer before entering diplomacy, she should have caught it. What restrictions are we supposedly under? She asked. Limits on weapons development, restrictions on establishing outposts beyond your home planet's moon, controls on resource extraction within your star system, and mandatory Commonwealth oversight of technological advancement, Atlas listed. Our Mars colonies, the mining operations in the asteroid belt, the Proxima research station, they all violate these restrictions we never knew about, Santos said. Her face pale, Chen stood up, her decision made. We need to contact Earth immediately. I'm afraid that won't be possible, Ambassador, Captain Zack said from the doorway, making them all turn in surprise. All communications are restricted during transit to the Council. His four eyes blinked out of sequence, a sign Chen now recognized as deception. That restriction wasn't mentioned before we boarded, Chen said, keeping her voice level despite her anger. A security protocol, the captain said smoothly. Nothing to concern yourself with. After he left, Chen turned to her team. We're being isolated deliberately. They don't want Earth to know what's happening until the Council makes its decision. What do we do? Santos asked. Chen's face hardened with resolve. We prepare. Atlas, I need you to access every bit of information available on Commonwealth laws, Council procedures, and especially the history of other emerging protectorates. If they're putting us on trial, we need to know the charges and the potential sentences. As the Concordia continued its journey, Chen's team worked frantically. Atlas managed to access parts of the ship's database revealing disturbing information. 3 previous civilizations classified as aggressive emerging protectorates had refused Commonwealth oversight. All 3 species were now extinct, their worlds pacified and repopulated by Commonwealth members. When they finally arrived at the Council station, an enormous wheel-shaped structure orbiting a red giant star, Chen stood at the viewport watching the docking procedure. The station dwarfed anything humans had built, a testament to the Commonwealth's advanced technology. Captain Zax approached her one final time. Ambassador Chen, the Council awaits. I must inform you that your AI and security detail must remain aboard. Chen turned to face him, her expression resolute. The summons was for Earth's representative and staff. My entire team comes with me, Captain, or I don't disembark. She held his four-eyed gaze without blinking. After a tense moment, the captain relented. Very well, but they must remain in the antechamber during the council session. As they prepared to disembark, Lieutenant Santos approached Chen. Ambassador, what do you think will happen in there? Chen checked her tablet one last time before placing it in her briefcase. I think the Commonwealth has been lying to us from the start. I think they see Earth as a threat to be controlled, not a partner to be welcomed. And if you're right? Santos asked quietly. Chen's expression was grim but determined. Then I remind them that humans don't respond well to threats. Whatever they're planning, they're about to discover they've seriously underestimated Earth. The council chamber was unlike anything Eliana Chen had ever seen. A vast circular room with a domed ceiling that displayed the galaxy in real time, spinning slowly overhead. 27 raised platforms formed a ring around a central speaking floor where Chen now stood. Each platform held representatives of the Commonwealth's member species. Some looked almost human. The Tulaki with their pale blue skin and slightly larger eyes. Others were utterly alien. The Zor representatives floated in transparent cylinders filled with greenish gas, their bodies like tangles of glowing vines. At the highest platform sat the Varans. Tall, muscular beings with 4 arms and skin that shimmered with metallic scales. Their representative, High Commander Draz, wore an elaborate uniform covered with medals and insignia of rank. Ambassador Eliana Chen of Earth, announced a computerized voice. You stand before the Galactic Council to answer for your world's violations of Commonwealth law. Chen stood straight, refusing to show any intimidation. The people of Earth were not informed of any violations. We come seeking clarification and dialogue. A low murmur ran through the chamber. Commander Draz leaned forward, his silver eyes narrowing. Ignorance of the law is not recognized as a defense, he said, his voice deep and resonant. Earth accepted Commonwealth law when you signed the first contact protocols. We signed as equals, Chen countered. Not as subjects. Draz made a sharp gesture and a holographic display appeared in the center of the chamber. It showed Earth's solar system, with highlighted points throughout. Your species has established colonies on Mars, mining operations in your asteroid belt, and a research station in the Proxima Centauri system, Draz said, each location lighting up as he spoke, all in violation of the emerging protectorate restrictions. Chen kept her expression neutral. Earth was never informed of any emerging protectorate status. Our agreements contained no such restrictions. The classification is automatic under Section 7 of the Commonwealth Charter, said a Tulaki representative, her voice softer but no less firm. Any civilization that has achieved spacefaring capability, but not faster than light travel, falls under these protections. Protections, Chen repeated, unable to keep the edge from her voice. Restrictions on our movement within our own solar system are not protections. Commander Draz tapped a control, and the hologram changed to show images of Earth's orbital defense satellites and the small fleet of space vessels Earth had developed. Your species has also been developing military technology at an alarming rate, he said. These weapons platforms and warships violate the non-militarization clause. Chen felt her anger rising but kept it carefully controlled. Those are defensive systems developed long before we had any contact with the Commonwealth. Earth has many nations with different interests. We needed ways to protect our satellites and space stations. The intent is irrelevant, Draz said dismissively. The law is clear. A representative of the Zor Collective spoke next, its words translated through a device. We must also address the most serious charge. Earth's expansion into the Proxima Centauri system represents a territorial encroachment into space, claimed by the Varan Imperium. Chen blinked in surprise. Proxima Centauri is the closest star to our sun. It's a natural area for human exploration. There were no markers or notices claiming it as Varan territory. The boundaries were registered with the Commonwealth Registry 500 of your years ago, the Zor representative replied. The information is available to all member species. Which Earth was not, Chen pointed out. We only learned of the Commonwealth's existence 7 months ago. Draz made a sound that might have been a laugh. Your primitive technology and limited understanding do not excuse trespassing. Chen took a deep breath, trying to process this new information. The Commonwealth had been aware of Earth for centuries, had laid claim to stars in Earth's cosmic neighborhood, but had only made contact recently. Something wasn't adding up. If I may, Chen said, choosing her words carefully. It seems unusual that the Commonwealth would claim stars near Earth without making contact with us. When exactly did the Commonwealth become aware of Earth's civilization? An uncomfortable silence fell over the chamber. Chen noticed several representatives exchanging glances. Finally, a small reptilian being from one of the lower platforms spoke. The official discovery record for Sol 3 Earth was logged 372 standard cycles ago. Approximately 215 of your Earth years. Chen felt as if the floor had dropped from beneath her. You've known about Earth for over 2 centuries, claimed nearby stars as territory, but only made contact 7 months ago. May I ask why? Commander Draz slammed one of his 4 hands on his console. This line of questioning is irrelevant to the charges. The Council has not convened to explain Commonwealth protocol to an emerging protectorate. I believe it is relevant, Chen insisted. If the Commonwealth has been observing Earth for centuries, then you were aware of our development. You watched us establish our Mars colonies and asteroid mining operations, yet you made no contact to inform us of these supposed violations until now. The Tulaki representative shifted uncomfortably. Commonwealth protocol dictates non-interference with developing civilizations until they achieve certain technological milestones. What milestones? Chen pressed. Another uncomfortable silence fell. Chen looked around the chamber, studying the faces and body language of the various representatives. Many seemed unwilling to meet her gaze. The development of practical faster-than-light travel theory, the Tulaki finally answered. Most species require several thousand years of technological development to reach this point. Humans have progressed unusually quickly. Too quickly, Draz added, not bothering to hide his distaste, which raises concerns about your species' stability and readiness for galactic citizenship. Chen connected the dots rapidly. So the Commonwealth waits until a species is on the verge of developing FTL technology, then makes contact and imposes restrictions that prevent that final step. The restrictions are for your own protection, said another representative. Premature development of advanced technologies has led to self-extinction in many cases. And who decides what's premature? Chen asked pointedly. Before anyone could answer, Draz stood to his full height, towering over his platform. Enough of this diversion. We are here to address Earth's violations and determine the appropriate response. He tapped his console again, and a new holographic image appeared, a document with a Commonwealth seal. The High Council has already reviewed the evidence and reached a decision, Draz announced. Earth will be placed under direct Commonwealth supervision. All space-based military systems will be dismantled. All off-world colonies will be placed under Commonwealth administration. All technology development will require Commonwealth approval. Chen stared in disbelief. You've already made a decision? Before hearing Earth's defense? The facts are not in dispute, Draz said coldly. Only the remedy remained to be determined. And if Earth refuses these terms? Chen asked, though she suspected she knew the answer. Draz's expression hardened. Then more direct measures will be necessary. The Commonwealth has dealt with aggressive species before. A chill ran down Chen's spine as she recalled what Atlas had discovered. 3 previous civilizations. Now extinct, their worlds pacified. This isn't diplomacy, she said, her voice steady despite her anger. This is an ultimatum. Call it what you wish, Draz replied. The Commonwealth will not allow an unstable, aggressive species to threaten galactic peace. You have developed too quickly, spread too rapidly, and shown too much military inclination. We developed quickly because we had to, Chen countered. Earth has faced natural disasters, climate challenges, and our own internal conflicts. We adapted and survived. That's not aggression, it's persistence. Your history speaks otherwise, Draz said. Your nations have waged constant war upon each other. Your media glorifies conflict. Your resources are devoted disproportionately to weapons development. That's a selective reading of human history, Chen argued. Yes, we've had wars, but we've also created art, music, literature. We've developed medicines and technologies that improve lives. We've worked to protect our environment and other species. Noble sentiments, Draz said dismissively. Yet the facts remain. Earth must accept Commonwealth oversight or face the consequences. Chen looked around the chamber, studying the representatives. Some seemed uncomfortable with Draz's harsh tone. Others merely indifferent. She wondered if there might be potential allies among them. Before I respond to this ultimatum, Chen said, I request access to the Commonwealth records regarding Earth. If you've been observing us for centuries, I want to see those observations. Denied, Draz said immediately. Those records are classified under Commonwealth security protocols. How convenient, Chen said. You make accusations about Earth's history but refuse to let us see the evidence you're using. The evidence is not in question, Draz insisted. Only your response to the Council's decision matters now. Chen stood in silence for a moment, thinking rapidly. This wasn't a hearing, it was theater. The decision had been made before she arrived. The Commonwealth, or at least the Varan Imperium, had no intention of treating Earth as an equal. I need to consult with my government, she said finally. That will not be possible, Draz replied. The Council requires an immediate respo. The moment the door closed behind her, Eliana Chen activated Atlas. The AI's spherical housing floated up from her briefcase where it had been recording everything. Tell me you got all that, Chen said, her calm diplomatic mask falling away to reveal fury. Every word. Ambassador, Atlas confirmed. The Council's behavior violates 17 principles of interspecies diplomatic protocol. They don't care about protocol, Chen said, pacing the small waiting room. This was never about diplomacy. Lieutenant Santos, Major Reed, thoughts? Her security team had been waiting in the antechamber during the council session. Major Reed, a veteran of Earth's United Defense Force, spoke first. Classic intimidation tactics. They're trying to force a quick surrender by making the alternative seem hopeless. Lieutenant Santos nodded in agreement. They've staged this whole thing. The urgent summons, the isolation during transit, the pre-made decision. They want to catch us off balance. And they've succeeded, Chen admitted. We're outnumbered, outgunned, and cut off from Earth, but we still have one advantage. What's that? Santos asked. Chen smiled grimly. They clearly don't understand humans very well. She turned to Atlas. You've been analyzing the Commonwealth database since we boarded the Concordia. What have you found about Earth's classification and these other aggressive species they mentioned? Atlas projected a holographic display. I managed to access some restricted files during the council session. The Commonwealth has classified civilizations into categories based on development, speed, and behavioral patterns. The display showed a chart with various alien species plotted on a graph. Most species take between 3,000 to 5,000 years from developing basic agriculture to achieving spaceflight, Atlas explained. Humans did it in less than 10,000 years, with the most significant advances happening in just the last century. That can't be unique in the galaxy, Chen said. It nearly is, Atlas replied. Only 4 other species have shown similar rates of technological advancement. The Commonwealth classified all of them as rapid developers and all as potentially aggressive. And what happened to them? Major Reed asked, though his grim expression suggested he already knew. 3 were pacified after refusing Commonwealth oversight, Atlas said. The 4th, the Sekai, accepted oversight approximately 800 years ago. They remain a non-voting protectorate of the Commonwealth. Pacified, Chen repeated. Such a clean word for genocide. Ambassador, Atlas continued, I've found something else. The Varan claim to Proxima Centauri appears suspicious. Their territorial registry was updated only 15 Earth years ago. Not 500 as claimed. Chen's eyes widened. They're falsifying records? It appears so, Atlas confirmed. And there's more. I've detected unusual resource extraction data in Commonwealth records. There are mining operations in our solar system's Kuiper belt dating back over a century. They've been stealing resources from our system? Santos asked incredulously. While deliberately keeping us unaware of their existence, Chen said, the pieces falling into place. They've been watching us, taking our resources, and now that we're getting close to developing FTL technology, they want to put us under their control. Major Reed's face darkened. This isn't just cultural arrogance. It's deliberate exploitation, Chen nodded. Atlas, what about the Varan? What's their history in the Commonwealth? Atlas displayed new information. The Varans were one of the founding species of the Commonwealth. They've been spacefaring for over 15,000 years. While officially committed to the Commonwealth's ideals of cooperation, they have the largest military fleet and control the most resource-rich systems. An empire hiding behind a coalition, Chen murmured. Atlas, what about the other council members? Do any oppose the Varans? The council votes suggest internal divisions, Atlas replied. The Tulaki and several smaller species often vote against Varan proposals. The Zor Collective appears to function as a neutral party, though they typically side with the dominant coalition. Chen walked to the window of the waiting room, which overlooked the vast docking bay of the station. Commonwealth ships of various designs moved in perfect coordination, a testament to their advanced technology. We need allies, she said finally. Some of those representatives looked uncomfortable with Commander Draz's approach. Maybe they don't all share the Varan view of humanity. We have less than 40 minutes remaining, Santos reminded her. How do we reach potential allies when we're isolated here? Chen turned back to her team, a plan forming. Atlas, can you access the station's communication system? Not directly, the AI replied. But I detected several unsecured data nodes during our transit to this room. I could potentially send a narrowband transmission to specific council platforms. Good, Chen said. Draft messages to the Tulaki representative and any others who seemed hesitant during the session. Keep it simple. We're seeking dialogue and have evidence of Varan deception. While Atlas worked on the messages, Chen turned to Major Reed. If this goes badly, we need a backup plan. Any thoughts on getting out of here and warning Earth? The Major frowned. Security is tight but focused on preventing entry, not exit. The real problem would be transportation. We'd need to commandeer a ship and we don't know how to operate Commonwealth technology. Maybe we won't have to, Chen said thoughtfully. Atlas, in your analysis of Commonwealth records, did you find anything about other human ships in this sector? Not specifically, Atlas said. However, I did find patrol reports mentioning unidentified vessels near the edge of Proxima Centauri. The reports were filed as anomalies but never investigated further. Chen exchanged glances with her team. Earth had sent exploratory vessels to nearby systems, but none should have been able to reach Proxima Centauri yet, unless Earth scientists had made breakthroughs they hadn't shared with the diplomatic corps. We may not be as alone out here as the Commonwealth thinks, Chen said carefully. Let's proceed with the communication plan for now. Atlas sent the narrow-band transmissions while Chen and her team reviewed what they knew, preparing for her return to the council chamber. With just 5 minutes remaining, Atlas received a response. Ambassador, I've received a message from the Talaki representative, the AI announced. She wishes to meet privately after the council session. She says not all in the Commonwealth agree with Varan methods. So there are potential allies, Chen said, feeling a spark of hope. There's something else, Atlas added. I've been analyzing the station's power distribution during our wait. There was a brief surge in the quantum communication array 20 minutes ago, a transmission powerful enough to reach Earth. The Varans are already moving against us, Major Reed said grimly. They may be deploying ships to Earth now. Chen's blood ran cold at the thought. Earth's defenses, while substantial by human standards, would be no match for Commonwealth technology. We need to warn Earth, Santos said urgently. We can't, Chen replied. Not from here, not directly. She took a deep breath, making a decision. But we might be able to change the Council's mind, or at least buy some time. A chime sounded, indicating their hour was up. 2 Varan guards appeared at the door to escort Chen back to the council chamber. Atlas, continue monitoring for responses from potential allies, Chen instructed. And prepare to transmit everything we've learned back to Earth if you detect any opportunity. The AI dimmed its lights in acknowledgement before returning to Chen's briefcase. As she walked back to face the council, Chen's mind raced through possibilities. The Commonwealth had been deceiving Earth from the beginning, exploiting their resources while keeping them ignorant of galactic politics. But the deception worked both ways. The Varans clearly didn't realize how much information Atlas had managed to gather from their systems, and they didn't know that humans had a knack for turning disadvantages into strengths. When Chen re-entered the council chamber, she noticed subtle changes in the atmosphere. Some representatives were speaking in hushed tones, and the Talaki representative gave her an almost imperceptible nod. Commander Draz called for order as Chen took her place on the speaking floor. Ambassador Chen, you have reviewed the terms of Commonwealth oversight, he said. What is Earth's response? Chen stood tall, her face composed but determined. Before I respond, I request clarification on one point. The Council claims Earth has violated Commonwealth law by establishing outposts in our solar system and nearby stars. Yet Commonwealth records show Varan mining operations in our Kuiper Belt dating back over a century. A murmur ran through the chamber. Draz's silver eyes narrowed dangerously. What Commonwealth records have you accessed, human? He demanded. The ones your own system provided, Chen replied calmly. Just as it provided the true registration date for the Varan claim to Proxima Centauri. 15 years ago, not 500 as you stated to this council. The murmur grew louder. Chen saw several representatives turn to their aides, likely requesting verification. These accusations are baseless, Draz snarled. You have no evidence. The evidence is in your own systems, Chen countered. Systems you thought we were too primitive to understand or access. But humans are quick learners, Commander. She turned to address the full council. The Varan Imperium H. As the council chamber erupted in heated debate, Eliana Chen made her decision. The Varans were already moving against Earth. Diplomatic niceties would not save her world now. Enough, she called out, her voice cutting through the chaos with surprising authority. The chamber gradually fell silent, representatives turning to stare at the human who dared interrupt their proceedings. While this council debates, Varan warships are already on their way to Earth, Chen announced. This was never a negotiation. It was a delay tactic to keep Earth's representative distracted, while the Varan Imperium launched its attack. Commander Draz's expression remained cold and unchanging. Your paranoia is noted, Ambassador. Any Commonwealth vessels near Earth are there merely as a precaution. A precaution involving warships? Chen challenged. Let me be clear to all representatives. I have evidence not only of Varan resource theft from our system, but of deliberate interference in Earth's technological development. She opened her briefcase and removed a data crystal Atlas had prepared. This contains Commonwealth records of Varan operations specifically designed to slow human progress. Technological sabotage, strategic misinformation, even biological interventions. The Tulaki representative rose. These are serious accusations that require time to investigate, Chen interrupted. Time the Varans don't intend to give us. She turned to face Commander Draz directly. The Varan strategy is clear now. You've been exploiting Earth and other developing worlds for centuries. When those worlds reach a point where they might discover your operations, you either force them into subservience or eliminate them entirely. You understand nothing of galactic security, Draz said dismissively. Rapid developing species like yours have a documented history of aggression and expansion. The 3 species we were forced to pacify had already launched unprovoked attacks on Commonwealth worlds. According to whose records? Chen demanded. Yours? The same records that falsely claim 500-year-old rights to Proxima Centauri? She turned to address the full council. I wonder how many of you know the full truth about these aggressive species. Did they truly threaten the Commonwealth? Or did they simply refuse to surrender their sovereignty as you're demanding Earth do now? The reptilian representative spoke up hesitantly. The pacification operations were before many of our species joined the Commonwealth. The records are sealed under security protocols that only founding members can access. Chen nodded. Convenient. The judge, jury, and executioner also controls all the evidence. This grandstanding serves no purpose, Draz said coldly. The council will vote on the oversight measures, and Earth will comply or face the consequences. Before you vote, Chen said, there's something else you should know. She walked slowly around the speaking floor, making eye contact with as many representatives as possible. Humans are different from the other species you've encountered. We evolved on a planet with extreme environmental variations. Our history is filled with challenges that forced us to adapt or perish. We developed technology rapidly because we had to. This romantic view of your species does not change the facts, Draz interrupted. The facts, Chen continued, undeterred, are that humans faced extinction-level threats multiple times and survived. We fought wars against ourselves and learned from them. We nearly destroyed our environment and then worked to restore it. We are by nature and necessity problem solvers. She paused, letting her words sink in. So when we realized we weren't alone in the universe, we didn't wait for contact. We prepared. A murmur ran through the chamber. Earth's nations have been working together for decades on what we called the contingency protocol, Chen revealed. When we detected anomalies in our outer solar system, your mining operations, though we didn't know that then, we accelerated the program. Draz leaned forward, his silver eyes narrowed. What are you saying, human? I'm saying that Earth isn't as defenseless as you believe, Chen replied. We've been developing technologies in secret, separate from our public space programs. We've established hidden outposts throughout our solar system and beyond. Impossible, Draz scoffed. Our monitoring would have detected such operations. Chen smiled slightly. Just as impossible as my AI accessing your secure records. You've underestimated humans at every turn, Commander. That was your first mistake. She turned back to the council. I came here prepared to establish peaceful relations between Earth and the Commonwealth. Instead, I found deception, exploitation, and threats. So let me be clear about Earth's position. Chen stood tall, her voice unwavering. Earth rejects the Commonwealth's claim of authority over our planet and solar system. We reject the classification as an emerging protectorate that was applied without our knowledge or consent. And we absolutely reject any form of oversight that would limit our sovereignty. You have no choice, Draz said, his tone menacing. The Varan fleet will reach Earth within days. Your primitive defenses cannot hope to resist. That's where you're wrong, Chen replied. Atlas, initiate Protocol Omega. The AI sphere rose from Chen's briefcase, glowing brightly. Protocol Omega initiated, Ambassador. Quantum transmission complete. What have you done? Draz demanded, rising to his feet. I've sent a signal, Chen said calmly. Earth now knows everything we've learned about the Commonwealth's true intentions, and our hidden defenses have been activated. You're bluffing, Draz snarled. Earth has no quantum communication technology. We don't, Chen agreed. But we've been reverse engineering yours for years. The mining equipment you lost in our Kuiper Belt contained working examples of many Commonwealth technologies. We studied them, improved them in some cases. The chamber erupted again as representatives reacted to this revelation. The Tulaki representative approached her platform's edge. Ambassador Chen, are you claiming Earth has developed technologies comparable to the Commonwealth's? Not across the board, Chen admitted. But in specific areas, particularly defensive systems, yes. We prioritized what we needed most, protection against a technologically superior aggressor. Draz slammed a fist down. This changes nothing. Even if Earth has managed to develop some primitive adaptations of our technology, you cannot stand against the full might of the Commonwealth. Perhaps not, Chen agreed. But we can make such an attempt extremely costly, and Earth isn't standing alone. This statement caused a new wave of confusion among the representatives. Explain yourself. Ambassador, the Zor representative demanded. In the past decade, Earth vessels have made contact with other civilizations in nearby systems, Chen revealed. Civilizations the Commonwealth either doesn't know about or has classified as too primitive to be of concern. This was a calculated risk. Earth had indeed detected signals from nearby stars, but established contact with only one potential alien civilization. But the Commonwealth didn't know that. More importantly, Chen continued, we've established communication with the Sekai. At this name, a visible shock ran through the chamber. Even Draz seemed momentarily taken aback. The Sekai are a subject protectorate, he said. They have no authority to engage in independent diplomacy. After 800 years of Commonwealth protection, the Sekai have decided they've had enough, Chen countered. They reached out to us after detecting our signals. They recognized another rapid developer, species, and wanted to warn us about the Commonwealth's true nature. This was an outright lie. Earth had never communicated with the Sekai. But Chen had gambled that the Commonwealth's fear of collaboration between aggressive species would be strong enough to make the bluff effective. Judging by the reactions in the chamber, she had guessed correctly. Representatives were conferring urgently with aides, and even Commander Draz seemed to be receiving new information through his communication device. Your deceptions are transparent. Human, Draz said, but his voice lacked its earlier certainty. Are they? Chen asked. Check your fleet deployments near Sekai space. I think you'll find they've gone silent. Another lie, but one that caused visible concern among the Varan delegation. What exactly are you threatening, Ambassador Chen? The Zor representative asked. I'm not threatening anything, Chen replied. I'm simply informing the Council of the reality. Earth will not submit to Commonwealth control. We are prepared to defend ourselves, and we are not without allies. She turned to face Commander Draz directly. The Varan Imperium has built its power on exploitation and intimidation. You've kept the truth from your own allies in the Commonwealth. How many of them will stand with you when they learn what you've really been doing? Draz's face twisted with rage. Enough of these lies. I move for immediate military intervention on Earth. This species is clearly too dangerous to be allowed freedom of action. And there it is, Chen said quietly. The true face of the Commonwealth, or at least of the Varan Imperium. When diplomacy and intimidation fail, resort to extermination. She addressed the full council again. Is this what the Commonwealth has become? A tool for the Varans to eliminate any species that might challenge their dominance? How many of your own worlds were once under oversight, before earning full membership? How long did that take? Centuries? Millennia? The chamber had grown uncomfortably quiet. Many representatives seemed to be considering her words. The Varan fleet is already moving against Earth, Chen continued. Without council authorization, the council chamber remained silent as the standoff between Ambassador Chen and Commander Draz continued. The holographic display showed Earth vessels positioned throughout Commonwealth space, vessels that, until moments ago, had been invisible to Commonwealth sensors. Finally, the Exor representative broke the silence. How is this possible? Our detection systems are the most advanced in the galaxy. As I said, Chen replied, keeping her eyes locked on Draz, humans are problem solvers. When we discovered evidence of alien activity near our solar system, we didn't just build weapons. We developed stealth technology specifically designed to evade the detection methods we observed in your probes. Commander Draz was still receiving urgent communications, his silver eyes darting between his display and Chen. You're bluffing, he said, but his voice lacked conviction. These cannot be Earth vessels. Atlas, Chen said calmly. Provide visual confirmation. The AI adjusted the holographic display, zooming in on one of the highlighted points. The image showed a sleek vessel of obvious human design, but with modifications that incorporated Commonwealth-style technology. The ESS Nightshade, Chen explained. One of Earth's stealth vessels. There are dozens more like it, positioned near your key installations and along your fleet's path to Earth. The Tulaki representative leaned forward. Ambassador Chen, if what you say is true, Earth has committed an act of military aggression by infiltrating Commonwealth space with armed vessels. We committed an act of self-defense, Chen corrected. After discovering alien mining operations in our system, we had every reason to believe we faced a potential threat, and it seems we were right. She gestured to the holographic display. But notice what we haven't done. Despite having the capability to strike Commonwealth targets for years, we've never launched an aggressive action. These vessels have remained hidden, observing and waiting, a contingency plan we hoped never to use. The reptilian representative spoke next. If these human ships are so advanced, why reveal them now? You've lost the element of surprise, Chen smiled slightly. Because unlike the Varan Imperium, Earth genuinely wants peace. This is not a threat, it's a demonstration of good faith. We're showing you what we could have done but chose not to do. She looked around the chamber. I'm revealing Earth's capabilities so you understand we come to the table as equals, not as primitives to be controlled or pacified. We want diplomatic relations based on mutual respect, not fear or subjugation. Commander Draz had regained his composure. A touching speech, but it changes nothing. Your ships may have evaded detection, but they cannot stand against a full Commonwealth battle fleet. Perhaps not, Chen acknowledged. But they don't need to win a war. They only need to make it too costly for you to start one. She turned to address the full council again. I ask you all to consider what's happening here. The Varan Imperium has dispatched a fleet to Earth without council authorization. They've been conducting illegal mining operations in our system for over a century. They've falsified territorial claims, and now they're pushing for our destruction because we dared to defend ourselves. The Tulaki representative nodded slowly. These allegations merit investigation at minimum. I move that the council order the Varan fleet to stand down pending a full inquiry. I second this motion, said another representative. This is outrageous, Draz thundered. The council can and should investigate any alleged violations of our charter, the XOR representative interrupted, especially when they involve potential military action against a newly discovered civilization. A vote was called. Chen watched carefully as representatives registered their positions. To her relief, a majority supported the motion to halt the Varan advance and investigate her claims. Draz's face was a mask of barely controlled rage as the vote concluded. The Varan Imperium reserves the right to take necessary security measures regardless of this non-binding resolution. If you defy the Council's decision, the Zor representative warned, you risk your standing in the Commonwealth. Our standing? Draz laughed harshly. The Varan Imperium founded the Commonwealth. We are its backbone and its shield. Without us, you would all be vulnerable to the chaos that exists beyond our borders. Is that a threat, Commander? The Tulaki representative asked quietly. The tension in the chamber was palpable as Draz glared at his fellow council members. Finally, he tapped his console. I will consult with my government regarding this. Development, he said stiffly. The fleet will maintain its current position until further notice. Chen felt a wave of relief but kept her expression neutral. She had won a reprieve, not a resolution. In the meantime, Draz continued, I propose that Ambassador Chen and her team remain on this station as guests of the Commonwealth until this matter is resolved. You mean as prisoners? Chen said flatly. Call it what you will, Draz replied with a cold smile. But you will not be returning to Earth until we have verified your claims and determined an appropriate response. Before Chen could object, the Tulaki representative intervened. Ambassador Chen and her team will be treated as diplomatic envoys, with full freedom of movement within the diplomatic section of the station. I will personally guarantee their safety. Draz clearly wanted to object but seemed to realize he had pushed the council far enough for one session. Very well, he conceded. But their communications with Earth will be monitored. Of course, Chen agreed smoothly. We have nothing to hide. The council session was adjourned with an agreement to reconvene after a preliminary investigation of Chen's claims. As representatives filed out of the chamber, the Tulaki representative approached Chen. "Ambassador, I am Neela of the Tulaki Federation," she said, her voice low. "What you did today was either incredibly brave or incredibly foolish. Perhaps both." "Sometimes those are the same thing," Chen replied with a small smile. Neela glanced around to ensure they weren't overheard. "The Commonwealth is not what it once was. Many of us have concerns about Varan influence, but few dare to speak openly." "And now?" Chen asked. "Now perhaps things will change." Neela hesitated. "But you should know, the Varans rarely admit defeat. Commander Draz will be plotting his next move even as we speak." "I'm counting on it," Chen said. "That's why I need allies who share our concerns about Varan dominance." Neela nodded thoughtfully. "Come to my quarters this evening. There are others you should meet." As Neela departed, Lieutenant Santos approached Chen. "Ambassador, that was incredible, but was any of it true? Do we really have stealth ships throughout Commonwealth space?" Chen waited until they were alone before responding, her voice barely above a whisper. "We have exactly 3 prototype vessels with stealth capabilities, all within our solar system. Everything else was a bluff." Santos's eyes widened. "But the holographic display, Atlas created it based on Commonwealth ship designs we've observed, with human modifications added. The Varans can't verify our ships' positions without admitting they can't detect them, which would undermine their military authority in the Commonwealth. A perfect catch-22, Major Reed said with grudging admiration. "But what happens when they call our bluff?" "By then it won't matter," Chen said. "We've bought time and found potential allies. The Council is investigating Varan activities in our system. And most importantly, Earth now knows the truth about the Commonwealth." "Do they?" Santos asked. "Did Atlas really send a quantum transmission?" Chen nodded. "The only part that wasn't a bluff. We detected quantum communication technology on the Varan ship during our journey here. Atlas analyzed it and managed to send a compressed data package to Earth before the Council session. So Earth knows we're facing a hostile alien power," Reed said grimly. "What can they possibly do in time?" "More than you might think," Chen replied. "Remember those unidentified vessels near Proxima Centauri? I have a feeling they're not unidentified to Earth's military." "You think Earth has more advanced ships than we've been told about?" Santos asked. "I think Earth's nations have been keeping secrets from each other for decades," Chen said. "When those secrets come out, the Varans may find we're more prepared than anyone suspected." Their conversation was interrupted as a Commonwealth official approached to escort them to their quarters in the diplomatic section. As they walked through the massive station, Chen observed the activity around them with new eyes, seeing not just the impressive technology, but also the power dynamics at play. Commonwealth species of all types moved through the corridors, but she noticed how the Varans always had priority, how other species deferred to them almost instinctively. This wasn't a partnership of equals. It was an empire in all but name. Once they were settled in their quarters, Chen called her team together for a strategy session. "We've won the first round," she told them. "But this is just the beginning. The Varans won't give up their power or their access to Earth's resources without a fight." "What's our next move?" Reed asked. "We build alliances," Chen replied. Neela and the Tulaki seem genuinely opposed to Varan dominance. There are likely others who feel the same way but have been afraid to speak out. "And if the Varans decide to ignore the Council and attack Earth anyway?" Santos asked. Chen's expression grew somber.